Have you ever had a younger sibling take apart something important in your house, like a clock or a radio, just because they were convinced they were building the next great invention? It usually ends with someone in trouble, right? That is exactly the daily life of 14-year-old Anita and her 13-year-old brother, Anand. They live in the bustling, energetic city of Calcutta, now known as Kolkata. Anand is absolutely convinced he is a brilliant scientist. He loves tinkering with dynamos and loose wires, but his creations are really just chaotic messes, cobbled together from whatever spare wood and stolen electrical parts he can get his hands on. His tinkering mostly fills the house with noise, clutter, and headaches for the rest of the family, leading directly into his first major disaster. After a string of local thefts in their neighborhood, Anand decided the house needed a high-tech burglar alarm. The goal was to catch any thief trying to sneak in through the front door. He even drew up what he called a professional blueprint. According to his plan, the moment someone tried to stealthily open the door, a string would pull, setting off a loud clanging bell and immediately dropping a heavy bag of water right onto the intruder's head. The trap worked exactly as planned. Their father, who always opens doors softly, was greeted by a heavy splash of cold water to the face. Standing on the doorstep completely soaked and scowling, Papa was furious. After he finally calmed down, he laid down the law. He locked up his toolbox, and all inventing in the house was strictly banned. Anand's grand visions rarely match up with how his gadgets actually function in the real world, but being grounded from his tools only made him more eager for a real chance to prove he was a true scientific mind. A week later, the siblings watched a sci-fi movie. That was all it took for Anand to quietly launch an even wilder, entirely forbidden project. He decided to build a time machine right in his bedroom. Over the next fortnight, his room turned into a hazard zone. He dismantled household gadgets to hoard parts, filling the space with a chaotic web of springs, levers, light bulbs, and a massive control switchboard, accompanied by constant hammering and sawing. Right as the machine was finished, their parents had to leave for an overnight trip to attend a wedding in Kharagpur, a few hours away. Before boarding the afternoon train, their mother made Anand promise, half-heartedly, that he wouldn't turn on or even touch the time machine while they were gone. So, as night falls, the siblings are entirely alone in a dead quiet house, while a highly questionable, untested mechanical contraption sits waiting behind a closed door. It is around 11:30 at night. Anita is staying up late to read a murder mystery, when suddenly she hears a faint scratching, followed by a very real rattle and click at the front door. There is a massive crash in the dark, a terrified scream, and a series of heavy, muffled thumps hitting the floorboards. But then, the sounds shift from a normal scuffle to something entirely bizarre. A high, eerie whine starts up, quickly followed by a deep, vibrating hum, as if the massive control panel has actually powered on. Anita and Anand start shouting for help at the top of their lungs. The commotion alerts their neighbors, Sharma uncle and Dr. Mohan, who sprint up the driveway and quickly force the front door open to rescue the kids. With the adults arriving, the immediate danger of the break-in is over. But as they turn their attention to the humming room next door, things take a very strange turn. The group cautiously pushes open the bedroom door and flicks on the lights. The massive time machine is still humming softly in the corner, but there is absolutely no one in the room. The neighbors standing outside the whole time insist they would have seen Boppa if he had tried to run out past them, yet there is no other way out of the house. Yet the only physical trace left of the intruder is sitting right on the floor next to the control panel, his ragged green scarf. The adults assume the thief somehow slipped past them in the dark, but Anand stares at the empty room, absolutely convinced that his machine actually worked and sent the man hurtling into the past. The author of this story, Anita Rau Badami, leaves the ultimate fate of the thief up in the air. So, did a scared thief make a very clever escape into the night? Or did a messy young tinkerer actually crack the secret to time travel? To decide for yourself, you'll have to read My Brother's Great Inventions.